I'm on a Brunel tour of the British Isles, which is going to take over 2 weeks. And in this tour, the two main places out of 40 is the Balmoral Bridge, which I've done, and here, this is Monkwearmouth on the north side of the River Wear, opposite Sunderland. And in the middle of the 1830s, Brunel built a dock, Monkwearmouth Dock. Where I'm standing now, which is on the east side, this has been filled in, so the dock was wider. And the reason this place is so important for me is because in my book I've been to all the other docks that Brunel did, Milford Haven, Briton Ferry, also in South Wales, Plymouth, Bristol, and Brentford in Middlesex. So I'm very pleased to be here. And in my book I've written, in 1831 IKB visited the site of the Monkwearmouth Dock scheme located to the north shore of the River Wear estuary opposite Sunderland. Dock development would increase access to the river, reduce the obtrusive sandbanks and accommodate the increasing traffic. After conversing with the dock surveyor in Newcastle, where I've just come from, there I was at the castle and at the cathedral which Brunel would have seen. Brunel was immediately appointed. Parliament rejected his 25 acres for a tidal basin and locked harbour as too ambitious. A dock of 6 acres with a tidal basin of 1.5 acres fermented its genesis in 1834 on part of the site chosen for his larger scheme. The entrance to the dock was a 45 feet wide, which was all complete in 1837, but unique to Monkwearmouth, instead of using iron for the lock gates, Brunel used yellow pine timber, incorporating the 1832 patented invention of Dr. John Howard Tyne. Cyanization preservation process immersed wood into corrosive sublimate. 30 years later, when the gates were removed for examination, the timber was in near perfect condition. Although the dock now is a yachting marina with a residential complex, Brunel's walls and configuration remain. From a book, which I've taken some reference from, 1835 to 1837, with the increase in maritime trade during the 1820s, the need became apparent for the construction of new docks at Sunderland to enable the river port to compete effectively with docks further south on the Durham coast. It was in November 1831 that Brunel made the long journey from London north to Monkwearmouth in order to meet local merchants and businessmen with a view to securing his appointment as engineer to the new dock scheme. But bearing in mind, this is at the beginning of Brunel's career. Despite the frustration of having his initial plans for the docks rejected by Parliament the following year, he submitted a revised plan which was approved and work began in 1835. The North Dock, as it was known, was designed by Brunel and built by him between 1835 and 1837 with Michael Lane as resident engineer. It was opened in 1837 by the Wearmouth Dock Company, but in 1846 was bought out by George Hudson's York, Newcastle and Berwick Railway. A suspension bridge designed by Brunel to span the River Wear, which not many people know about, was designed to bring coal from the south side of the river and was never built. I have seen a picture of it in a local magazine. Due to its modest size and poor position on the River Wear, the dock was never a great success, and in no time between 1838 and 1858 did the coal exported through the dock exceed 8.3% of total exports from Sunderland, and it would soon be completely overshadowed by Sunderland's South Docks, which opened in 1850. To conclude this video, I hope you find it interesting. It's one of the key steps in Brunel's career. and it's a long way from where I come from in the south of England, but I had to come here because my book's going to have pictures of all the docks.